A little side comment made by new Lions safety Jamal Adams may give us kind of a peek into what Lions free agency could look like. Let's talk about it. Hi, it's Mike Payton with A to Z Sports Detroit, and today we're going to talk about why pre-draft meetings really matter in this world. First off, let's just explain where this is all coming from. So Jamal Adams, brand new Detroit Lions safety, just got added to the team just a few days ago. Ahead of their game against the Green Bay Packers. He had his introductory little presser scrum type thing at Lions practice on Monday. And one of the things that he kind of said was one of the reasons he wanted to come here, other than saying that the Lions were a first-class organization, which, I mean, I've never heard that one before, and that is awesome. But one of the reasons that he said he wanted to come here is because of Aaron Glenn. And it goes all the way back to when he was coming out for the draft, and Glenn was there for his top 30 visit with the Saints and ran him through a whole bunch of drills, and everything, went well and all this. Obviously, the Saints didn't wind up taking him, but, he got to see what he wanted to see out of that player. And now the reason I bring that up is, that's just the Lions are so into their pre-draft visits. Like if you go and you look at a list of the guys that they have had meetings with, top 30 meetings, Senior Bowl meetings, combine meetings, had them in for local pro day, you'll see that a ton of the guys that they meet with, they wind up drafting. So they really feel good about the guys that they meet with, and it is very important to them. This March will be the first time that any of these players that the Lions met with, like back in 2021, for example, are going to be free agents. And now gives the Lions another chance to maybe take a look at some of these guys that they really liked pre-draft that have now had some years in the NFL under their belt. And maybe they wind up, utilizing that as as one of the reasons that they sign a player. Obviously, they're not going to sign them just because, hey, we met with you several years ago and that's why we want you. But I think that, when you look at one of these players and you spend so much time with them, like, for example, just throwing it out there, Sione Vaki met with the team at the Senior Bowl. He met with them at the Combine. He went to the top 30. They spoke to him a bunch of times. Like, they talked to this guy a lot. Like, I knew weeks in advance that there was, like, they were in love with him. There was no doubt that they were not going to – there was no doubt they were going to draft this guy if they had a shot. And sure enough, they traded up to do it. Beat out San Francisco, who was also in love with him. But the point is, they take this very seriously. So they remember these guys. And here we go. They got a chance to sign some of them. Now, usually we could tell you basically everybody they've met with. But in 2021, we were still very much in a pandemic year. So everything was kind of a virtual meeting. And, there wasn't a whole lot. You weren't really talking to these players as much as you do now, where you get a chance to talk to them at the Senior Bowl and the Combine and all this. So really, some of the guys that we know that they met with, like Levi Onwuzurike and Ifitu Melifonwu, we know they met with them and they drafted those guys. But some of the guys that they did not draft, like Asante Samuel Jr., could potentially be someone they look at. Maybe a KJ Britt, players like that. We don't really know beyond just a few guys who they talk to. But the point is, hey, Asante Samuel, that's a cornerback for a team that needs a cornerback, loves cornerbacks. So just giving an idea, putting it out there. I think that going into March, you will see the Lions kind of go back on some of the players that they talked with pre-draft before those players were drafted in 2021. And then in 2022, when we have a much larger list of guys, I think you'll see the Lions will kind of revert back to some of the guys that they really like, and we'll see what happens. One of those guys on that list, Micah Parsons. We'll see what happens. He has his fifth-year option for 2025 with the Cowboys, but I don't know, maybe 2025, March 2025, after the 2025 season is over with, 2026 rather, maybe the Lions take a swing for him. They talk to him a lot. So who knows? We'll see what happens, and we'll see you guys next time.